Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Tifo, and I'm an associate professor of English here at Springfield College, and I'm chair of the Department of Literature, Writing, and Journalism, where the English major is housed. So if you're watching this video, it means that you have expressed some interest in our English major. That's one of two majors in English that we offer at the college. The other is English/secondary education, wherein the English portion is identical in both, but in the latter, you also get licensure to teach middle school and high school. So I'm assuming you're here because you're interested in one or two of those programs. First, I'd just like to say a word about Springfield College itself and why, if you're contemplating coming here, you're in a good frame of mind. I went to a very large university and I had great faculty members, but they didn't have a whole lot of time for me. And the faculty who work here, and particularly in our program, choose to work at a place like Springfield College because they like to teach and they like to advise and they like to work closely with students. So that's true across the board at Springfield College, but it's particularly true in the English program. So I thought I'd structure this by just answering a couple of questions that often come up. What does one study in the English major? What are some unique opportunities in our program? And what are some career outcomes from the English major? Things that are often on people's minds. So first of all, what does one study in the English major? Well, I've already told you there's two major programs, right? One is English, the other is English/secondary education, but the English component is the same in both. So you might think about it this way. We study the classics and the cutting edge. So classics, we study masterpieces of literature from all periods, whether it be Shakespeare to contemporary American novels. We offer courses in science fiction, African-American literature, American drama, great works of literature that expand your cultural horizons and your vocabulary and your ability to think critically and analytically, and really just put you at the center of some of the most important intellectual conversations that people in our society and other societies have been having for millennia. Secondly, we also have courses that I would call cutting edge, or at least different from what you might expect from other English programs. We have a class called History of the English Language. We call it HELL for short. And in that class, not only do you learn how the language of English has evolved over time, but you also study the cultural importance and the political importance of dialects. So why do some people speak this word this way and other people speak it this way? What is the etymology behind how these words change over time? A very interesting course. We also have a class called Writing for the Professions, where people get to take all that literary and writing skill that they've developed in their other more traditional classes and see how that translates to the professional world. And of course, we have classes in creative writing. In particular, we're very excited about our advanced creative writing classes, where students read great works of literature and then also write in that mode. So we have reading and writing poetry, reading and writing nonfiction, things of that nature. So that's what we study in the English major, the sort of courses that you'd be find yourself in with faculty who are actively publishing either about that literature, or they are scholars of creative writing or scholars of rhetoric themselves. So we're very active in that way. Our faculty go to conferences and they publish their work, and they really get to bring what's going on in the literary and the writing world to the doorstep of the students. Second question is, what are some unique opportunities about being part of the English program? Well, one, we're a small program. Now, there are programs that are small and have a small number of faculty. But we have this really unique position in that we're a small program with a lot of faculty. It's because so many people at this institution have to take English courses that we have a large English faculty, but a relatively small English major, which means that every graduating English major here is in close contact with at least 7, 8, 9, 10 faculty members who know them very well, who are thinking about what they're going to do next. Are they going to go to graduate school? Are they going to try to make a run at the job market? What's happening next in the student's life? This is in the purview of lots of faculty members. We're also a program that really is at the center of intellectual and cultural life and leadership on campus. Anytime there's a major leadership opportunity for students, you'll often find that English majors are involved in it. To give you just one recent example, the Board of Trustees at the college has a student trustee that serves on the board, and the incoming student trustee is going to be an English major. And it's because English majors find their voices in these classes, and in finding their voice, they become a voice for the other students on campus. So if you're a mover and a shaker, this is a good major for you. What are some other unique opportunities? Well, we, for a small program, give lots of opportunities for students to get involved in editing and publishing. So we published a student literary magazine, the Alden Street Review. It's student run, but faculty, staff, and alumni have the opportunity to submit to it. So if you come join us, you get to be an editor of a journal. We also have professional academic journals that are run out of our department. So I co-edit this journal from Penn State University Press, and students help me as editorial assistants and interns for that publication. We also are housed in a department that is joined by the journalism major. So a lot of our English majors double major in communications, and they write for student newspaper, which is run out of our department, or they are on the student television network, or they're on the student-run radio station. So all those things, all those opportunities for student voice come out of this department. So by majoring in English, you put yourself into that centerpiece of the student media on campus. We also have an English Honor Society that every year takes a group of students to the National Conference for Undergraduate English majors. Except for this last year, due to the pandemic, the conferences take place in places like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and Las Vegas. And it's a great opportunity for students to share their work on a national stage with other students from other institutions. English is flexible enough that students can often accommodate a study abroad semester. And even if they can't, we have faculty who lead week-long study abroad courses, usually over spring break in places like London, take students to the Globe Theater, that sort of thing. And then finally, as I've already mentioned, there's a great opportunity to get an English major while also getting teaching licensure at the same time to study, to teach middle grades and high school. So those are some of the really unique opportunities of the English major. Now, what do you do with an English major? If there are any parents watching here, this is a question that you may be asking yourselves or your students. And at the risk of sounding cheesy, I'd flip that and say, what can't you do with an English major? This is a very versatile and timeless degree that never goes out of style. Talk to anybody you know who's in any kind of white collar work and they'll say, oh boy, I wish that my employees could write. Well, the majors who come out of our program really do know how to write and communicate. And that's a skill that is in high demand right now. And we help students be strategic about leveraging that skill when they go on the job market. But here are some things that you can do that fit really nicely with the skills you'll develop in the English major. Number one, becoming an attorney or being in the legal profession, going to law school. So studying carefully texts and making persuasive arguments about them is at the core of our program. And that's at the core of the legal profession. I know this as someone who comes from a family of English major lawyers, that these are paths that really complement one another. And in fact, you can get involved with the pre-law activities on campus if you think that that's something that might be of interest to you. Communications and public relations. Obviously, by writing persuasive arguments and being good at writing and being able to think creatively and analytically at the same time, this puts you in a valuable position in terms of helping businesses and other entities to tell the story of who they are. Publishing and editing. Well, I've already talked about how there's lots of opportunities to get involved with that here in our program. Technical writing is a field that people often don't think about, but it can be quite lucrative. We need people who are able to decipher complex text, break it down, and explain it to other people. This can be rewarding work and also high earning. The world of business broadly. Business needs good communicators. I started out as a business major, believe it or not, because I really liked to communicate in that way. And now I find myself as chair of a department. So I'm using those business skills and those English skills. And you'll find that if you look at the top ranks of any business that has a real national reach, that you're often going to find some real liberal arts skills and liberal arts training behind there. So don't buy the myth that liberal arts do not lead to the possibility of a professional career. Obviously, education. We have a program here where you can get certified to teach in middle grades and high school. Graduate school in an array of fields. English puts you in a position because of your ability to work with text and to do research and to write papers to really then go into advanced study in any number of fields. Government jobs and research. Research skills are also in high demand at a moment now where everyone feels like, oh, you just Google something. Our English program graduates come out really knowing how to research. And then, of course, perhaps most obviously, people who want to be writers, creative writers, journalists, people who want to tell stories for a living do very well coming out of our program. So that's just a list of some of the things you could do. But I would say most broadly, to rehash what I said to begin this, an English major allows one to develop a cultural awareness and a skill set that is in high demand and never quite goes out of style. And we make sure that students don't wait until the end of senior year to just start thinking about what they're going to be doing next, because there's so many faculty who are helping them. Each English major gets an advisor who works closely with that student to make sure that they develop an English portfolio, which is sort of a sample of writing from their different courses. That could be really useful then to then take and then use as writing samples for other things that you might do after college. So again, my name is Paul Tifo, and I am the chair of the Department of Literature, Writing, and Journalism, and here at Springfield College. And I thank you for your interest, and I hope that you will come join us in the fall. Take care.